most singers have, or should have, at their disposal about 2 octaves of usable, effective range if they're going to sing classically. Now, there are singers who have more than 2 octaves, particularly some high sopranos. My guy, they can go way up, E, F, even higher than a high F above high C. However, you know, if it's a normal kind of full lyric voice for soprano, if you've got a middle C up to a high C, you're pretty good to go. Maybe a C sharp, okay? You're good to go. Same with tenors. If you've got a B flat on the bottom and a good B flat, or maybe even a B natural or C on the top, you know, you're ready to sing. And it has to be something you can rely on and count on at any time. Baritones, let's say low G or A flat to high G or A flat. I don't think anybody would argue with that. All right, so we have this 2 octave range for all intents and purposes, okay? Well, let's talk about a baritone. A baritone, we have, let's say, a low A, oh, that note there, to that note. That's an octave. And then we go another octave. So it would be A natural to A flat. That would be your upper octave. This would be your lower octave. Well, between the lower octave and the upper octave, there's what the Italians call primo passaggio, the first passage. When I was a young singer, I would feel that, and I wonder, what is that? What am I feeling? Nobody could explain this to me. And I definitely felt something going on. What did I feel? Well, it's like this. You go, what am I feeling? I didn't go, well, for a baritone, between A flat and A sharp, you remember I told you the male voice is a combination of chest and head. It isn't always 50-50. When we get to that part of our voice, the higher note, the A natural, A sharp, and on up, there's a higher percentage of the head voice in the voice than there was in the lower octave. And you can feel that there's a certain lift, some people call it a lift or a shift or a heightening of the resonance. If you don't allow that to happen, and remember the word allow, not make, it happens naturally. As long as you allow it to happen. I didn't go, so the voice takes on more warmth, more power, more a rounder tone. All right. A, B, C sharp. All right, now we got B, baritones now. B, C sharp, D sharp. When you finally get up to a D sharp, you start to feel like, oh, this is getting high. What am I going to do? I want to go higher than that, but I can't sing wide open like that. Oh, what did I do? All right. There's a second passaggio. Passaggio in Italian means passageway. We're passing into another another resonance, another range of your voice. A passage is a narrow place between two bigger places in the world. A passage through the mountains. A doorway is a passage between rooms. In other words, it's a narrow place. Well, in singing, that means we have to find a narrower vowel, a smaller, thinner vowel. what do we do? Like the word look. Whoa, you've heard before. That's the soprano vowel, right? So the male voice is moving into the closer into the soprano range. So we go. This would be C, D, E. You hear that? Well, oddly enough, when we do on the E, it still sounds like ah. The audience hears ah, but we're singing really and the same thing from then on. I say that's an A flat. Not bad for a guy who's getting older. I got. So basically, what I'm doing is An A flat is the top of my range. I don't think there's much music I've ever been asked to sing that went above that. And I can still sing it. And I'll be 70 years old in a few months. So not too bad. In other words, if the voice has this combination of chest and head, of the it doesn't get old. The guy that taught me this was singing beautifully in his early 90s. So it's really, the voice doesn't need to get old. It doesn't need to get wobbly. It doesn't need to get feeble. As long as your body's strong and healthy, you can do this. That's your passaggio. Now, what about women? Well, it's a little different for women. Women, they're starting to sing basically where we're ending. More or less. We overlap a little bit. But if a woman's starting, let's say, all right, she's singing You notice one thing about what I'm doing? You see my mouth? I'm keeping my mouth long, like that, not spread, not wide like this, but that helps to keep the sound in the pharynx, in the resonance, on the vowel. Now, I'm not a soprano, remember that, but when you get all the way up to F, you're going to stay like this. You're going to keep the voice resonating in the pharynx. Really, we would call this soprano middle voice, or mezzo, middle voice. Middle voice meaning in the middle of your range. Above F, release. Smile it out a little bit. Not like but show your teeth, and all of a sudden that frees the palate to go into the right position so you can sing high notes. Now, I can't demonstrate it because I'm not a soprano, but all you got to do is watch the great Joan Sutherland or watch any great soprano, and you'll see them do this. Up to F, like this, and then for the high note. It's quite mechanical, but it's how it works. So, it's not nearly as complicated for women. They just have to understand, you want to sing in the middle voice of your voice up to your F, and then release. Otherwise, the voice gets kind of stuck, and it won't go to the high notes. Okay? I hope that's helpful. Give it a try. See if it works for you. Okay? Thanks.